WWE WrestleMania 41 is just days away. It is World Wrestling Entertainment Super Bowl, the biggest weekend of the year, and it's set to conclude on Sunday, April 20th, with title matches, possible huge returns, surprises, and maybe some tricks up the sleeve of WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque from Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. In this countdown video, we're going to be going through some surprises that WWE and Triple H may have planned for WrestleMania Sunday. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we get into today's countdown video, a reminder, you can join the WN365 roster. The link's in the video description below. You can also scan the QR code when it does appear on the sidebar on screen. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Whilst you're looking at the sidebar too, you can see all the upcoming watch-alongs that we have over WrestleMania weekend, beginning Friday on SmackDown. We've also got NXT Stand and Deliver on Saturday, WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, and the Raw after WrestleMania 2. I'll be live for watch-alongs for every single show, plus a post-show live on here on the channel, so be sure to join us. And you can also see right there, we are over 21,000 subscribers here at Wrestle News 365. I really appreciate everyone from the bottom of my heart that has recently subscribed or been subscribed since day one or somewhere in between, because my goal this year was to hit 20,000 subscribers in the entirety of 2025. So the fact that we've hit 21,000 just halfway through April is absolutely incredible. It's much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the hard work and the journey is only just beginning. The Wrestle News community is expanding. The Wrestle News universe is always growing. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Right. Let's talk about WrestleMania Sunday, and let's talk about some possible surprises that Triple H may have in store for us on WWE's biggest show of the year. Now, we've already done a video talking about possible surprises for WrestleMania Saturday. It's out on the channel. Be sure to check that out. We're going to be talking in this video, this countdown video, about 5 possible surprises we could see for WrestleMania Night 2, that being April 20th in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Now, let's begin with possibly the return of Becky Lynch. Of course, we haven't seen Becky Lynch in quite some time, have we? We haven't seen her since last year. She took a hiatus from WWE after her contract expired with the company. This was just not long after she actually dropped the WWE Women's World Championship because, of course, last year at WrestleMania, she challenged Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World title. Ripley was victorious in that one. She defeated Becky Lynch on night 1 of WrestleMania 40, but not long after, Rhea Ripley was forced to relinquish the title due to a legitimate shoulder injury. Becky Lynch then won a 14-woman battle royal on the 22nd of April episode of Monday Night Raw, last eliminating Liv Morgan to become a 7-time Women's World Champion. Now, eventually, quite quickly, actually, she dropped the championship to Morgan at the King and Queen of the Ring PLE. And 2 nights later, she failed to regain the title from Liv Morgan in a steel cage match after interference from Dominik Mysterio. After that show, she showed some cryptic social media posts that she was walking away from WWE. It was later reported that Lynch's WWE contract had expired. She was a free agent. There wasn't really any concern of her going to AEW or any other pro wrestling company. It was reported that she wanted to take a hiatus, spend more time with her family, explore options outside of pro wrestling. She's already done some appearances in TV and film, has got other TV and film appearances coming up. But at the beginning of this year, that being 2025, it was reported by Fightful Select and other outlets that indeed Becky Lynch had signed a new contract with WWE. Naturally, this led to a lot of speculation that she was going to probably return on the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw on January 6th. But she didn't appear. We've seen Becky Lynch actually in promos for Raw's arrival on Netflix. We saw Becky Lynch at a promotional event for WWE on Netflix, but we haven't seen her on WWE TV. Now, every single month, every single PLE, every single big episode of Raw or SmackDown, we go, is tonight going to be the night? Well, what better place for Becky Lynch to make her return than at WrestleMania? Of course, the biggest, arguably the setting of the biggest moment in her career, main eventing WrestleMania 35 back in 2019, being part of the first women's main event in WrestleMania history, winning both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship in the process. It would be a perfect place for her return. So why would this happen on night 2, you're saying? Well, it's because there is a Women's Tag Team Championship match slated for night 2 of WrestleMania. That is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Bayley and Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. The reason this one is perfect is because Becky Lynch, she has history with every single person in this match. It would just be really the perfect place for her, you think, to actually return. Of course, she's got history with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, namely Liv Morgan, because of course it was Morgan who had the final match with Becky Lynch before she actually left WWE or her contract expired. So certainly that would make a lot of sense that it would be that person and it would be her to get back involved in that, possibly after, the match happens or anything like that. That certainly would make a lot of sense, and you feel like that would be the situation there where it will be her being in. So, of course, another person she's got history with there is Bayley, of course, being one of the 4 horsewomen of NXT back in the day. It was Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and also Becky Lynch. They were the 4 horsewomen. So certainly she's got history of her. And also, of course, she's got history with Lyra Valkyria. Of course, not only both being from Ireland, so they have that they have that history, that combined history as well. But of course, she lost the NXT Women's Championship to Lyra Valkyria at Halloween Havoc previously when she made her move back to NXT. So given that that's the case, she's got history of everyone, and you could see a scenario, couldn't you? They've already kind of teased this on television, where let's say Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, they win the Women's Tag Team Championships. They retain their titles in that match. Then what happens? You have a situation where Bayley eventually turns on Lyra Valkyria. They've already kind of teased it. They had a match on Raw recently where Bayley was defeated by Valkyria, and after the match, after not winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship, she was frustrated with herself, initially didn't shake her hand, left the ring, then decided, no, I'm going to do the right thing, embraced her, raised her hand, and now they're going on to WrestleMania to compete for the Women's Tag Team titles. But what if Bayley gets frustrated, walks out? Then, who comes out to save Lyra Valkyria, her fellow countrywoman, and someone she's faced in the past? That being Becky Lynch. It just makes perfect sense. We've also seen Becky Lynch in one of her final Raw appearances. She shared a backstage segment with Lyra Valkyria. So my prediction would be here that Becky Lynch actually does make her return and maybe comes to the aid of Lyra Valkyria, and maybe they'll team up for the Women's Tag Team Championship in the future or something like that. Maybe that's the direction that they're going with that story. Now, Dominik Mysterio, I think, is going to win his first piece of main roster singles gold. Dominik Mysterio, of course, has been a singles champion in WWE. Don't get this mistaken, because Dominik Mysterio, whilst being on the main roster, has actually won the North American Championship, not one but twice. He's won it twice, so he is a former champion whilst being on the main roster, but of course the NXT North American Championship isn't a main roster title. He has held a title on the main roster, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, once with his father Rey Mysterio, but he's still yet to hold a main roster singles title, and I think that could be just about to change on WrestleMania Night 2, because of course on WrestleMania Night 2 in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, it is a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Bron Breakker defending the championship against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominik Mysterio. And given Dominik Mysterio, the way he looks, the way he talks, the way he walks, the heat that he gets, you would think he's got no chance. He's going to get destroyed by either Bron Breakker, he's going to get destroyed by Penta, or he's going to get destroyed by Finn Balor, even though Finn Balor's meant to be his teammate. There is dissension and trouble in the Judgment Day. They've been building this up week after week after week, haven't they? That Finn Balor, he can't win the Intercontinental Championship. There is frustration that he can't win the Intercontinental Championship, and he wasn't even really super happy that Liv Morgan kind of circumvented him and got Dominik Mysterio added to this match by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Now, for weeks, Dominik initially was saying we need to add a new member to the Judgment Day, and Finn Balor was saying, no, we don't. Dominik was saying, yes, we do, and eventually he dropped it. I think we're going to see a bit of a coup when it comes to WrestleMania. I think we're going to see Dominik Mysterio try and grab control, grab power of the Judgment Day, and also win the Intercontinental Championship by pinning Finn Balor, whether it be a roll-up, whether it be by a low blow, whether it be some kind of dastardly tactics, whether it be from a returning JD McDonough turning on Finn Balor, something like that. I think we're going to see Finn Balor get kicked out of the Judgment Day just how he kicked out Damian Priest, and that is by costing him a championship. So I think that's the likely scenario there, and Dominik Mysterio is going to leave WrestleMania with his first piece of singles equals main roster gold, and he's going to become the leader of the Judgment Day in the process. Just think of the heat and the social media reaction to that one. Now, all next three are kind of related to each other, beginning with the return of the final boss, The Rock. We have not seen The Rock since Elimination Chamber. It's been such a bizarre year for Dwayne Johnson when it comes to WWE, hasn't it? Coming out of WrestleMania 40 last year, on WrestleMania 40 Night 1, he was involved in that tag team match, one of the biggest tag team main events in WrestleMania history, teaming with his cousin Roman Reigns to face Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, with major implications for WrestleMania 40 Night 2. In that match, The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes, hit the people's elbow, 1, 2, 3. He and Roman Reigns held their titles high as they closed the show on WrestleMania 40 Night 1. The following night, as part of the Bloodline Rules main event for the Undisputed WWE Championship, he once again got involved. He confronted John Cena, hit John Cena with a rock bottom, but eventually The Undertaker came out, chokeslammed him. Cody Rhodes then wins the Undisputed WWE Championship, ending Roman Reigns' huge, lengthy record title reign in the process. The following night on Raw, he confronts Cody Rhodes, even grabs Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship, says he likes the look of it, says our story is only just beginning, it's not over, I've got to go away though because I've got to film a movie, and basically the seeds are planted that he's going to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Well, as the months go on and on and on, it looks more and more likely The Rock isn't wrestling at WrestleMania. It's not going to happen. That match that everyone thought was going to happen against Cody Rhodes is not happening, at least not this year. So we don't see The Rock for ages. Eventually he returns on the January 6th Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw. And he's not really the final boss anymore. He's more of a babyface. He's high-fiving people. He's hugging Netflix executives, hugging Ari Emanuel at ringside. He goes into the crowd and hugs Cody Rhodes, puts him over, says he carried the company on his back. He then acknowledges the tribal chief Roman Reigns, puts the Ula Fala on him, and it looks like The Rock is a babyface again, and he's corporate babyface Rock. Then a month later, suddenly, out of nowhere, The Rock, he's returning to SmackDown, and suddenly he's the final boss again. He's turning babyface, he's going heel, he's turning babyface, he's going heel, and he says to Cody Rhodes, I want your soul, and you've got to give me an answer at Elimination Chamber. We then find out, of course, at Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes says no, go F yourself, but The Rock's already bought someone else's soul, that being John Cena, the shocking heel turn, Cena turning heel for the first time in 20 years, and Cena beats down Cody Rhodes along with The Rock and Travis Scott, and you think this new faction has been formed with this trio, a huge entertainment trio involving pro wrestling, acting, and also music, covering all of the bases. Why? This is going to be unbelievable television. Then we never see The Rock again. We haven't heard from The Rock. We've only heard his name mentioned once or twice, and he's just kind of been this looming figure that no one really talks about. Now, the general assumption has been that he's going to be at WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. It's The Rock. He can do what he wants. And given how last year's WrestleMania ended with that spectacular Bloodline Rules match that featured the final sort of, 10, 15 minutes or 5-minute run where it was like everyone coming out, whether it was Cena, Solo Sikoa, The Rock, The Undertaker, Seth Rollins, and the Shield gear. Like everything was all involved in that. It was this huge, dusty finish where it went on for ages and everyone got involved. How can they top that this year? How can they top that? Well, you think they're going to at least try, and given the fact he was instrumental in the heel turn itself and he has John Cena's soul, of course The Rock's going to show up. Of course The Rock's going to get involved. Now, as for the main event, at the time recording, it's still a regular singles match. It hasn't been changed. But like we saw at WrestleMania 17 in a main event that involved The Rock against Stone Cold Steve Austin, just before the match started, it was suddenly announced that it was no longer just a regular singles match. It was going to be a no disqualification match, and suddenly it changed. So who's to say that the stipulation for that main event doesn't change? If it does, and regardless if it does or doesn't, I think The Rock will be showing up and The Rock will be getting involved in that main event. But if The Rock gets involved, then there is a huge possibility that Stone Cold Steve Austin could get involved in the WrestleMania main event. I referenced that incredible, famous finish to the WrestleMania 40 main event last year between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, with all of the people getting involved. Solo Sikoa, then getting confronted by John Cena, then getting confronted by The Rock, then getting confronted by Seth Rollins in the Shield gear, then getting confronted by The Undertaker and chokeslammed. The only thing that people said that they wish would have happened that didn't happen was Stone Cold Steve Austin. It felt like, didn't it, that when The Rock came out, the person who was perfect to stop the final boss was his greatest ever WrestleMania opponent, that being the man he faced 3 times at WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Steve Austin wasn't in Philadelphia. He didn't appear on the show. We haven't seen Stone Cold Steve Austin since he last competed in the ring at WrestleMania 38. He actually appeared on both nights. Of course, he had the match against Kevin Owens on night 1. He stunned Vince McMahon and also Austin Theory on night 2. But we haven't seen Steve Austin since. Now, we know he's in Las Vegas. He is in Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend. He, alongside Bret the Hitman Hart, is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025 for their match at WrestleMania 13 in 1997. So Austin's going to be there. He'd already spoken prior to that he was going to be there during Las Vegas. In addition to that, he lives in Vegas, so it's not a long commute. He said the reason he missed WrestleMania last year is because he was doing other things. He and his wife are busy. That's not the case this time around. Physically, would he be able to get physically involved? We don't know. Of course, Austin has recently had some surgeries. I think he's had a knee replacement not that long ago. So whether or not he'd even be able to do a stunner, whether he'd be able to stomp a mud hole and walk it dry, whether he'd be able to do right hands and do what he did in the ring just a couple of years ago, we honestly don't know. But given the fact that Austin is there, it would be foolish, right, for WWE not to use him. And if we can get just one more Stone Cold Stunner on The Rock at WrestleMania, where The Rock flops around the ring like a fish, I mean, there's no better seller of the Stone Cold Stunner than The Rock. You could say Scott Hall's one at WrestleMania 18. Fair enough. There have been some pretty good ones. Santino Morella's one where he's saluting as he goes back. There have been a pretty good few, but The Rock's is certainly the most iconic Stone Cold Stunner sell of all time, isn't it? And if we can get just one more, I don't even know if The Rock can do it anymore, let alone Steve Austin do a stunner, but it'd be great to see them try, wouldn't it? So you just feel like the way they could one-up last year's incredible finish or closing stretch to last year's WrestleMania main event could be if they tried to replicate it, but this time when The Rock's in the ring, we hear the glass shatter and Steve Austin walk to the ring instead. That would be very, very exciting, wouldn't it? And finally, this then leads to John Cena winning number 17. I think this is the most difficult one that people are trying to predict. John Cena is competing in his final ever WrestleMania match. This is the retirement year of John Cena. He's on his retirement tour. He's already competed in his final Royal Rumble match. He's already competed in his final Elimination Chamber match. And this coming weekend at WrestleMania on April 20th in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium, he'll be competing in his final ever WrestleMania match. He'll be main eventing against Cody Rhodes. He is a 16-time WWE champion. The record, I use that, but the record is 16 world titles currently held by Ric Flair. If John Cena wins number 17, he would have held the most world championships out of any WWE superstar in WWE history, and you feel like he's going to do it. By hook or by crook, he is going to do it. I think we've only scratched the surface when it comes to the John Cena heel turn. He said on episodes of Raw that he's not going to give the fans what they want. People want to see him change. They want to see new gear. They want to see new music, and they want to see a completely different heel John Cena, but he's not going to give them the satisfaction. I think when Cena wins number 17, he's going to do just that, and I think that is going to be the catalyst for an even bigger change and transformation for Cena into his final run as a WWE active in-ring superstar. Now, I do think when it comes to John Cena moving forward, I do think eventually he will return babyface, and his final match will be as old school John Cena, babyface Cena, sometime in December. We don't know who his opponent's going to be or where it's going to be or when it's going to be or anything like that. But when it comes to this WrestleMania main event, I think it is all built around Cena breaking the record and, as he says, ruining wrestling, holding the WWE Championship and the WWE by proxy hostage. It's already thought that Backlash after WrestleMania, which is in St. Louis, Missouri, that's going to feature John Cena versus Randy Orton one more time for the WWE Championship. There are so many exciting matches in which adding the WWE title to it, being the person to try and knock Cena down and rip the title away from him, that's very exciting. And I think I mentioned this sort of grandstand finish, this great lengthy sort of cinematic finish we're going to get, I think, for this Cody Cena match, I think could involve The Rock, could involve Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then also, by hook or by crook, John Cena will win the title. I think by all of that, that'll be a way of protecting Cody Rhodes. In the build-up to WrestleMania, WWE have been really clever to try and not have Cena bury Rhodes on the mic, and Rhodes has been getting the upper hand every single time on the microphone or physically. At the time of recording, we haven't seen what happens on SmackDown on Friday, so we don't know if he's going to, get his, physicality back and hit, I guess, Rhodes with an attitude adjustment. We just haven't seen at this point, but it feels like with John Cena, he is going to break the record. He is arguably one of the biggest and best WWE superstars of all time when you look at his tenure, how long he's been active, the titles he's won, the creative he's had to deal with, and it would just further cement his legacy if he indeed breaks that record, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do at WrestleMania. So there you go, guys. There are 5 major surprises for WrestleMania Sunday. What are your thoughts on them? Are some right? Are some wrong? How likely are some? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong about them? You can tell me. Share me your hot takes and opinions in the comment section. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. As you can see right there, we're over 21,000 subscribers. If you haven't already, you can subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.